You ever feel like you're in a constant battle with your own thoughts? Well, today we're jumping into a really powerful lecture that tackles that exact struggle, and it all starts with one critical question. Is your mind your greatest ally or your absolute worst enemy? It sounds simple, right? But according to the source material we're looking at, your answer to this question pretty much defines your entire life. And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. The source makes it clear that this is the day-to-day reality we all live in. There's a constant battlefield right inside our own heads. This fight is nothing new, not by a long shot. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Bhagavad Gita put it perfectly. The mind is called restless, turbulent, obstinate. I mean, trying to subdue it can feel more difficult than controlling the wind. We've all been there, right? So what gives? Why is it so incredibly hard to get a handle on? Well, the lecture suggests it's not just about a lack of willpower. It's not about just gritting your teeth and trying harder. It's really about what we're allowing to live inside our minds in the first place. The lecture gets really specific here, and it identifies 6 of these, well, destructive forces: lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and confusion. But here's the thing that's so powerful. It doesn't frame them as just passing emotions. It calls them internal enemies that are actively working against us from the inside. Okay, so if we're going to take on these enemies, we first have to understand the battlefield they operate on. The lecture calls these the 3 modes of material nature, and they are constantly influencing our state of mind. Now, the source uses a fantastic analogy to explain this. Think about our consciousness developing just like a fire. It starts out as wood. That's a state of total ignorance, of darkness. Then, as it starts to burn, you get smoke. That's the mode of passion. You've got some light, some heat, but everything's kind of obscured and restless. The goal is to get to fire, a state of goodness, where things are clear, eliminated, and you can truly see. So let's just lay it all out. You've got ignorance, which is like wood, all potential but totally undeveloped. Then passion, like smoke. There's some light, but it's all wrapped up in restless desire. And finally, goodness. That's the clear, illuminating fire. The key thing to get here is that most of us are constantly bouncing between these states. The point isn't to never feel passion, but to consciously work on building that state of goodness. But wait, here's the kicker. Even reaching that state of fire, that state of goodness, isn't the end of the road. An illuminated mind is an amazing tool, no doubt. But just like fire, you can use it to create wonderful things, or you can just let it burn everything down. It all comes down to its purpose. So if a good mind isn't the final destination, then what is? Well, the lecture argues that trying to fight your mind, to force it into submission, that's a losing battle. The real secret, the actual solution, isn't confrontation, it's purification. And what exactly is purification? It's defined as cleansing the mind by fixing it on something supremely pure. It's a simple idea, really, but it's profound. You become what you focus on. So if you connect your mind to something pure, your mind itself becomes pure. To really drive this point home, the lecture tells this incredible story. Picture this: a giant serpent demon, so huge its mouth is 8 miles long. This demon is basically a metaphor for a mind that's been completely swallowed up by negativity, by those 6 enemies we talked about earlier. And into this darkness, into the demon's mouth, walks Krishna, who is described as the supremely pure being. Now, instead of attacking the demon from the outside, he does something amazing. He willingly walks right into the heart of the problem. And here is the whole point. By filling the demon from the inside, Krishna doesn't destroy him with force. He purifies and liberates him. The takeaway is just, wow. The way to fix the mind isn't to fight it from the outside, but to place a supremely pure focus inside of it and let that purity transform it from within. This whole idea completely flips the script on how we think about winning and losing in life. It's a radical redefinition of success and failure. Let's look at another story to see this in action. On one side, you have Jatayu, an old, weak bird. On the other side, the incredibly powerful demon king Ravana. In a straight-up physical fight, it's no contest. Jatayu fights for a good cause, but he gets totally defeated and killed. Ravana wins. Easy. But let's look at the ultimate result. Jatayu fought with his mind totally fixed on a divine purpose. Ravana fought purely for his own selfish desires. So because of his mindset, Jatayu's material defeat turned into a spiritual victory. He achieved liberation. Ravana's material win, on the other hand, set him on a path to his own total destruction. The real outcome wasn't decided by strength, but by the state of the mind. So, after all that, what are you supposed to take away from this? Why does any of this matter to you and me? It really boils down to one incredibly powerful truth. Your perception is your reality. The source material says it so clearly. Happiness and distress are not the circumstances around you. It is simply the condition of your mind. Think about that. It's not about what happens to you. It's about what's happening in you.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. An event happens, you fail a test, you get a promotion, someone cuts you off in traffic. The event itself is just a neutral fact. It's our mind's perception, our reaction, that slaps a label on it, good or bad. And that's what creates our happiness or our suffering.
And so the final question really isn't for me to answer. It's for you. That battlefield is inside your mind. The choice of what to focus on, that's all yours. So what are you going to let control your mind? Will you cultivate a friend, or will you keep feeding an enemy? At the end of the day, the choice is yours.